Life is never simple. Every situation and every person is complicated. In 2011, Lara Logan went through something that changed her life forever. While reporting in Cairo's Tahrir Square, she was attacked for 25 minutes by a mob of 200 men. She thought that would be her darkest moment, but she was wrong. Years later, one false report about Benghazi ended her $2 million career at CBS. Lara said she was targeted for revealing truths about powerful people. Now, she's speaking out about secret meetings, media manipulation, and why she believes they wanted to silence her. Her story reveals things that could change how people see the media and power. Lara was born on March 29, 1971, in Durban, South Africa, during a painful time in her country's history. Apartheid was destroying lives, and millions of people were being forced out of their homes because of their race. Her city was full of broken families and demolished neighborhoods. She grew up surrounded by injustice, which shaped the way she saw the world. She went to Durban Girls College, an elite school for mostly white girls. She graduated in 1989, the same year Nelson Mandela was close to being released from prison. Her school had beautiful facilities, while millions of other children weren't even allowed on public beaches. She began to notice the deep divide between privilege and suffering. Around that time, her parents divorced while the country was under martial law. Thousands of people were being jailed without trials, and even families like hers were falling apart. Lara moved between homes, learning to live with uncertainty. That feeling of instability helped her later connect with people who had lost everything, especially refugees. In her teens, she started working to support herself. She waited tables and posed for swimsuit photos at 16 or 17 to earn money. South Africa's economy was struggling, and Lara did what she had to do to survive. Those photos later caused controversy, but she never apologized for them. She learned early how media could twist stories and how powerful images could be. At 17, she began reporting in Durban, a city torn by violence. She saw people beaten in the streets and friends disappear after being arrested. She realized that showing the truth through journalism could be a way to fight injustice. In 1988, she entered the University of Natal to study economics, but journalism soon became her real passion. She wrote for newspapers like the Sunday Tribune and the Daily News. By the time she graduated in 1992, she already had more experience than many professional reporters. At 21, she joined Reuters Television as a senior producer. It was the same year South Africa began to move away from apartheid. She was sent straight into war zones with no safety or backup. Those dangerous experiences shaped her into one of the toughest reporters in the field. In 1996, she exposed major corruption in South Africa's police force, just 2 years after the country's first democratic elections. The story made her known as a fearless journalist. By the late 1990s, she worked for international networks like ITN, CNN, Fox, and NBC, often reporting from war zones. She saw death and destruction up close but never treated people as statistics. She wanted to tell their real stories. In 1998, she married Jason Seaman, but their marriage ended because she was always away covering wars. She later said the distance destroyed their relationship, even though they still cared for each other. In 2000, she joined GMTV in the UK but couldn't stay away from conflict. After the September 11th attacks in 2001, she pushed to go to Afghanistan. She went to the Russian embassy, got a visa, and reached the front lines by November. Her fearless reporting caught the attention of CBS, which offered her $1 million contract in 2002. She became one of the most recognized war correspondents in the world. She was injured when her vehicle hit a mine in Afghanistan in 2003 but returned to work soon after. That same year, she embedded with U.S. troops in Iraq and was in Baghdad when Saddam Hussein's statue fell. She spent nearly 5 years there, witnessing deadly battles up close. In 2004, she helped expose the torture of prisoners at Abu Ghraib prison, a report that shocked the world and led to multiple convictions. In 2005, she reported from New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, showing the government's failure to help its own citizens. In 2008, she married Joseph Burkett, a defense contractor she met in Baghdad. They had 2 children but continued living with secrecy and danger surrounding their work. Even after becoming a mother, she kept returning to war zones. Her 2007 Emmy-winning report showed U.S. troops under Taliban ambush. She also exposed the Battle of Wanted in 2008, where 9 American soldiers died because of poor leadership. Her investigation led to congressional hearings and major awards. She became known for her fearless reporting, speaking directly to Taliban commanders and uncovering truths others couldn't reach. But all the danger she had faced in war couldn't prepare her for what happened in Cairo in 2011. While covering celebrations in Tahrir Square, she was separated from her crew and attacked by a mob of over 200 men. For 25 minutes, they beat her and assaulted her brutally. She thought she would die. Lara later said the assault was so overwhelming that at first, she couldn't even feel the beating, only the violence of what was happening. She was finally saved by a group of Egyptian women and soldiers, but the damage had already been done. She spent days in the hospital, but her emotional pain went much deeper than the physical wounds. She developed severe PTSD, couldn't sleep, had panic attacks, and sometimes couldn't bear to be touched, even by her husband. At one point, she broke down completely and ran into the street trying to escape her own mind. It didn't feel like an injury from war, it felt worse. Just a year later, in 2012, her situation got even harder. She found a lump in her breast and was diagnosed with stage 2 cancer at age 41. Doctors said it could have been linked to the trauma she had just survived. Her body had been worn down by stress and fear. She went through surgery and radiation while still struggling to heal emotionally. Many times, she felt alone and invisible, like she wanted to disappear. But instead of staying silent, she spoke out. In May 2011, she gave a brave interview on 60 Minutes describing the Cairo assault in detail, hoping it would help other victims know they weren't alone. Her honesty broke barriers, but it also brought backlash. Some people blamed her, others questioned her choices, yet she refused to hide what happened. Her courage started important conversations about the dangers women journalists face in war zones. Even after everything, Lara kept going. She gave speeches, supported other survivors, and tried to change how the media handled these issues. But the pain never fully went away. Her health kept declining, and she feared the cancer would return. Then in 2013, her career took another devastating hit. She reported a 60 Minutes story about the Benghazi attack based on false claims from a man named Dylan Davies, who said he fought terrorists that night and saw the ambassador's body. It turned out he had lied, he wasn't even there. The FBI and his employer proved it. CBS retracted the story, and Lara admitted the mistake. But the damage was massive. CBS launched an investigation and said she had ignored warnings and had a conflict of interest because she had already spoken publicly about Benghazi before the story aired. Her credibility collapsed. Her salary fell from over $2 million to $750,000 by 2015, and she lost major assignments. She eventually filed a $25 million lawsuit, claiming CBS had ruined her career. The final blow came when veteran journalist Morley Safer asked for her to be fired. His opinion carried huge weight, and when he turned against her, it showed how far her reputation had fallen. In June 2014, Lara returned to 60 Minutes after 7 months off the air, but it wasn't the comeback she hoped for. Instead of being sent to war zones, she was given small, low-profile stories. The network's chairman, Jeff Fager, called her Benghazi report the worst mistake in his decade running the show. It was clear CBS wanted to move on from her. She appeared less and less until, in 2018, they chose not to renew her contract. After 16 years, Lara was gone, no goodbye, no tribute, just silence. By 2015, she had stepped away from the spotlight and moved with her husband Joseph Burkett and their 2 children to the Texas Hill Country. It was partly for peace and partly because her son had serious learning difficulties. She said she needed to be the kind of mother she wanted to be, so she focused on her family. In January 2020, Lara returned to television with a show on Fox Nation called Lara Logan Has No Agenda. It started with stories about border security but soon took a darker turn. She began speaking on podcasts about how criticizing the liberal media could destroy careers and claimed that powerful groups were controlling the news. Her show aired 27 episodes before Fox stopped production after she began promoting conspiracy theories about immigration. Things got worse in November 2021, when she compared Dr. Anthony Fauci to Nazi Dr. Joseph Mengele. The comment caused outrage, and Jewish groups condemned her. In early 2022, her talent agency dropped her, and Fox News cut ties completely. Later that year, she appeared on Newsmax and made even more extreme claims, saying global elites wanted people to eat bugs and drink children's blood, and that open borders were part of a satanic plan. Newsmax banned her, and the Anti-Defamation League called her comments dangerous. She went even further on podcasts, saying Charles Darwin had been hired by the Rothschild family to invent evolution and repeating her Fauci comparison. These statements isolated her from both mainstream and conservative media. Between 2020 and 2022, her views became more extreme. She said news about Ukraine was fake, that war coverage was being used to control the public, and that global powers were manipulating everything. Her old co-workers barely recognized her. She had gone from an award-winning war reporter to someone deeply involved in conspiracy circles. By 2022, she was openly supporting figures like Michael Flynn and joining projects that pushed lies about the 2020 election. Many wondered if her trauma from Cairo had changed her mental state. Still, she didn't stop. In 2025, Lara launched her own podcast studio in Texas called Going Rogue with Lara Logan. By then, she had produced 33 episodes, featuring controversial guests like Michael Flynn and Christina Bobb. She discussed topics like organ harvesting in China and genocide in Nigeria. The show built a loyal audience across Spotify and YouTube, where fans said she was finally telling the truth mainstream media wouldn't. Then in August 2024, she appeared on the Drinkin' Brothers podcast and gave a 2-hour interview that went viral. She said intelligence agencies were lying to Americans and blamed the Benghazi scandal for ending her career. She also claimed the Illuminati had infiltrated the U.S. and talked about secret meetings among world leaders. She shared her own 10 commandments of journalism and warned about media manipulation. Some praised her honesty, others said she had lost touch with reality. By 2025, Lara was banned from most major networks, but she still had devoted followers. Even after spreading conspiracy theories about blood rituals and Satan, many fans continued to support her. When she claimed Darwin's theory was part of a Jewish plot, even far-right groups began distancing themselves. But Lara didn't stop. She believed she was exposing the truth no one else dared to tell. Despite all the chaos, she remained financially secure. Her estimated net worth in 2025 was around $7 million, built from speaking gigs, podcast revenue, and her savings from her CBS years. She owned a house in Washington, D.C., bought for $1.5 million in 2008 and later listed for $2.2 million. Her studio in Texas became her new base of operations. Even without a network, Lara Logan built her own media world, one powered by fans who still believe in her voice.